All right.
Stage.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. And so my name is Ameri. I'm partner and Chief Innovation Officer in Arctic Startup. We're a media events consultation company in the startup world, based in Helsinki, but operating in the Nordics and Baltics. And today I come to present you from Helsinki, which likes to be the most functional city in the world. And naturally, food has some part on that, and I'll come back to it later. But first, I'd like to do a little game. I'd like you to close your eyes for a moment and think of some amazing meal you had recently, or it can be in the childhood, grandma's meatballs. Just think about it, remember the people around who was there, and we'll come back to that a little bit later, okay? So, about Helsinki and Finland, I'd like to a little bit tell about something on the history and come up quickly to the present, and then look also on the future part. And in the past, let's say that the revolution of the technological part in the food industry, one big one was in the 1995 when Raisio came out with the Benecol. How many of you here know the product called Benecol? Okay, we have a couple of ones. So it's basically helps you to reduce cholesterol, and tens of millions of people have been benefiting from that since more than 20 years already. And then another big company, some of you may know, it's called Balio, and they've been pioneering on the lactose, low lactose and non-lactose stuff, and they've been coming quite many new innovations on that side. And then also probably Päivi somewhere here in the audience, Fazer, maybe it's a familiar company for you guys, and what they've been doing recently, they've been super active also on the startup scene, having innovation challenge, and what they did last year, they published when Finland opened the legislation on the insects to be able to sold, they actually launched the world's first cricket bread. And it was huge success also in the media. I think they got like 13 billion views on their articles, so that was quite impressive. And to my understanding, in Sweden it's not yet allowed to sell crickets, right? Okay, maybe it's coming soon. So maybe that tells something a little bit that maybe in Finland the consumer is a little bit more innovative and daring to try, or maybe it's just the legislators. That's not really my cup of tea. And then, what was the biggest hits and the most spoken in the food tech in the last couple of years? It's a company called Golden Green. Has anybody heard of them? Okay, we have some. So they come up with this new meat substitute called the pulled oats. And also they created this new method of making oats and fava beans and very simulating the meat. And there was a huge success. A lot of investors want to invest in their company, but 1.5 years ago they decided to sell 51% of the company to Pauli, this traditional coffee and a food company, family company, so that they can scale faster. And I'm not sure, it might be already in sale in Sweden also. Is it? Yes, good. So, and last week, actually, our main event, Arctic 15, our very efficient matchmaking business startup conference, we served vegan burgers there, and I had 2 people who didn't even notice it was a vegan burger, and they only realized afterwards that it actually wasn't meat. So that was a pretty good success there. So I highly recommend you to try that. And then other startup world, looking at a little bit younger companies, one of them who's operating here already is called Wolt. Is somebody here using Wolt in Stockholm? Okay, we have a couple of good. So they are a delivery service, kind of like Foodora or Uber Eats, but they're started from Finland. I think they're in a couple of countries already raised more than 10 million capital. So, but as no one in this food delivery business, they're still not yet profitable, and to my understanding, like nobody yet is. Hopefully somebody will be, but we'll see about it later. And then I think we have in the house also here Epic Foods, which is a really interesting company. They have like their cloud kitchen, their own kitchen, and they do direct delivery to the people. Started with the lunch, and now started also serving dinners. And to my understanding, they are looking to enter in the Stockholm markets too. I have rumors that they're looking for kitchen space here, so you might be able to order some delicious Epic Foods to your home anytime soon. Is Martti here somewhere? Yes, at the back. Is this true, or can you confirm anything?
Just shoot all the kitchen intros our way.
Okay, so if you have some free kitchen space, the guy at the back is your guy there. And then I mentioned the crickets already, and there's actually one company called Entocube, and they are they're actually growing the crickets to be then converted into powder and probably supplying Fazer for making the cricket bread. And they actually started a couple of years ago. First they wanted to build these containers, like sea containers, which are where they grow and they wanted to sell those containers as growing units, but that didn't really work. Nobody wanted to buy them, so they're just focusing now on growing the cricket. So there's because to my understanding, Fazer, the cricket bread is so popular, and they don't have enough supply of the cricket powder that they can scale the production and sell to everybody who wants to try it. So let's hope there's more cricket produced. And I met yesterday somebody from Sweden also who was growing some in Sweden. And then really cool company. Has anybody here heard about a company called Spectral Engines? Does it ring a bell? No? Well, it's a company, they actually, what they do, they have created the world's smallest near-field spectral infrared sensor to track stuff. And it was so hot, this technology, that actually this big German company acquired 75% of them just a couple of weeks ago. So that was quite early. They just had the product out, and big company already wanted to buy them. It's a very good collaboration. So from my point of view, it's a little bit sad that companies get sold so early, but I think for the growth perspective, and also investors got very early exit out of that, so that's good. And then from the media side, we have a company called Eat and the City, and they've been like a local media serving the restaurant, and you can find the restaurants wherever, and now they also raised funding last fall, and they're entering German markets, entering UK markets. So that's a couple. And then of course you've seen already many of the startups from Finland here and from Helsinki area, so I'm not going to go more deeper into those ones. So, but there's a lot of happening also in probably a little bit behind Stockholm on some sense, and especially we don't have Finland Foodtech, at least not yet. Hopefully in the future we'll have. And thank you so much for Johan for doing that for Stockholm. So in Finland we have to take some examples from that. And then of course I was supposed to talk something about Helsinki, and then city of Helsinki is really active at the moment, and they're actually building this new test bed in, is Päivi somewhere here? I'm here. Yes, you are there. So city of Helsinki is building the Tukkutori and Teurastamo, there's like a food manufacturers, producers and restaurants, so they're building a test bed there. So anybody with innovation or new ideas can come there and test it, and then they'll be launching it fairly soon, and if you want to talk to Päivi more about that. And then one more, which is actually very close. Former US ambassador to Finland, Bruce Orek, just a couple of weeks ago acquired this old train factory, and then he's going to put their very individual, creative food, art, craft kind of a community. So it will become a food destination in a year or two. So that will be super interesting. And then I have one. This is totally off the record and not anything public, but there's a strong rumor on the street of Helsinki that there's actual first ever food-focused VC fund, more than 20 million euros, about to be closed and announced during this summer. But I will really hope that it will happen. I don't know, do you have any food-focused fund in Sweden?
Could say we have a couple of food-interested funds and with huge investments in the sector.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that we really have a specially geared fund yet.
This will be purely focused on food and early stage food and food technology. So,
yeah, no,
we'll have to wait.
We want a bunch of those.
Yeah, we need more, a lot of those, right? So, but I'm hoping that that will happen. And of course, like previous speaker mentioned, the collaboration is the key. So that's why I'm also here connecting with people and helping Johan so that we can stronger in the Nordics. We are a good brand in the international, and then also Helsinki is very willing to collaborate with Swedish, Danish, Norwegian, whoever startups. So that's super important. Then you still remember that memory from the beginning, the food memory, some delicious thing. So now I want you to really quickly share that memory to the person next to you. Just say what was the food, who was there. Could you do that for me, please? Yeah? Johan, I have a memory and it involves you. And
Okay.
it was this amazing vegetarian speaker dinner at Tonic 17 event, and that's a very strong memory for me.
It's really fun that you mentioned that because that's the memory I have too. So
Really? Okay.
because it's a fantastic memory, a fantastic meal. So
Exactly. And related to that, so we also organized before Slush, December 3rd, we're going to organize Tonic 18 Foodtech Innovation event. So I also invite everybody to join for the event.
we will come.
Yes. Hey,
Okay.
thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Right.
A pleasure having you here, John, as well.